Hello and welcome to C++ Weekly. I'm your host, Jason Turner. I'm available for code reviews, contracting, and on-site training. In this episode, I am going to discuss variable shadowing. Now, this may or may not be something that you're familiar with, and I'm going to give a quick example. I'm going to show what it means, and I'm going to show some tools for making sure that you don't do things like this. Now, I am going to create a simple function that is mostly just for demonstration purposes. So I've got some local integer I, I'm making a copy of this parameter, and I'm going to have something like a sum. Now, this is a relatively straightforward function. It's a summation of a range of integers. I did it backward just because that's what happened. Now, at some point, if you were watching me type this in, you might have noticed this little bit here. I have this int I equals param and this other int I equals param. And these two things are perfectly valid for them to exist in the same place. Now, if I did this, I'm going to get an error from the compiler saying that I've redefined the variable. But in this example, I have not redefined the variable. In fact, I could do something really silly, like this. And again, I am not redefining the variable anywhere here. I am defining a new variable called sum in a different scope. And the scope of this variable inside of the for declaration and this variable inside of the for loop itself, this one on line 10, its lifetime is for the lifetime of each iteration of the loop, and this one on line 8i, its lifetime is for the lifetime of the entire for loop as it executes all the way through. Now, this, I think, is code that very clearly has some bugs in it, but it compiles without warnings at the moment. And I will turn on WALL. And now I get an unused variable warning. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, unused variable. Let's just go ahead and take out that variable. So WALL helped us out. Then I'll turn on WExtra. If you're not aware of this, WALL, WExtra are nowhere near all of the actual warnings that exist. So I've enabled WALL. Most people think they're good with that. I've enabled extra. That didn't catch anything new here. So I'm going to enable WShadow at the moment. And with WShadow, I now get this warning. Warning, declaration shadows a local variable, int sum 5. Oh, that's the bug with my program right here. I can remove that. So somewhere between shadowing and catching the unused variables, we can actually catch a lot of bugs in our program. Now, this is, again, just WALL, WExtra, and WShadow, which is a lot of warnings, but there's still many dozens more to use. So I do suggest that you go and look at your compiler's documentation and see what warnings there are out there, and then use them as much as you can in your projects. So thanks for listening to this episode of C++ Weekly.